Welcome back
Yes.
to episode 8.
8.
8.
Look
Already.
at that. You
That's
guys
so
have drinks on the
insane.
table and everything.
Yes.
Now we're
It's
getting
all
to my...
about the
It's all
love.
about the love. You can tell they've been drinking. Hey, look at that. Look at that. A drink.
Hey, Vanny.
What?
Who is on his second can?
I'm not
this
saying
big.
anything.
Could be third, but whatever. Who's
Doesn't matter.
Nobody counts.
I wasn't good in
because
math anyway.
If the camera angle is good, that means I'm doing my job properly, right?
Maybe it looks straight, but you're really crooked.
It
Just
could
saying.
be. Could be.
We
Could
will
be.
see in post. So
How is it going, ladies?
it's going well.
It's going
I think
well.
I found a hair strand. It's going
Wow.
very well.
They've been drinking. That's all I'm saying.
It's been rosé, non-alcohol.
Non-alcohol.
Non-alcoholic. Oh.
It's really good.
Mine is
I
alcohol.
enjoy it.
You like the non-alcohol
Yeah.
rosé?
It's pretty good, actually. It's
Cool.
surprising.
It
It's
should be
surprising.
illegal. I'm just saying. Just mentioning. Because if I can't get a buzz, what's the use?
You just smack your head. You'll be buzzed all night.
Okay. I'm still
If you
on
would
the
like,
Zuka.
I can do it for you.
I'm still on the Zuka beer, which is really good. Okay.
Alrighty.
So
So,
how have you been? How was the week?
it was good.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good week.
Good
Can't
week?
complain.
Oh,
Lots of
nice.
weddings. We're
Wedding
right
time.
now when this comes out. We should be. Wedding season has
Yeah,
begun.
we'll be starting.
Has begun.
It'll be starting slowly but surely. It'll be there.
It's in full, starting to swing.
Yes.
It's
full-
May is usually where
the beginning of
beginning.
the very beginning.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And Val's gonna be booked, so
Yeah.
whoever needs a planner, you gotta hurry up.
Now's the time
Now's
to
the time.
do it.
This
Don't
year-
wait. Don't wait.
She goes fast, guys. She
Don't
goes
sleep on
fast.
it.
You know what's? I already have about 12 to 14 for 2025
I believe you. Oh
already. Yeah, because
yeah.
they're starting that early.
You have to be ahead of the game.
When
Yeah.
you have a
You have
band,
to.
or DJs too, but a band more because there's only one of us.
Yeah.
So if we're booked, and if you really like,
Yeah.
that band, you got to book it in advance because if
I
we're booked,
agree,
there's
yeah.
nothing we can do. And we lost a wedding. Very good friend of mine, his kid's getting married. He was dying to have us, and we're booked. And there's
Oh, no.
nothing.
Yeah,
You can't change the
venues,
date
bands, everything goes fast. You have to book it way in advance.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can imagine.
And with that being
Unless you're not picky.
yeah,
That's
If
it.
you're not
That's
picky, it's
true.
like whatever. This studio, is it free? Yeah, let's do it here. Perfect.
and with that being said,
Yes.
Yes.
the episode is on wedding florals. Well, wedding florists, florals,
Flowers.
flowers.
I love flowers.
for your wedding.
I love flowers,
Yeah.
but I'm terrible at taking care of them. Even the plastic ones die. Not a word, Vanny. Yeah.
Even the plastic ones die.
I'm
You're
not,
not
I'm
supposed
not
to
agreeing them.
water plastic ones. I'm just letting you know.
Thanks, Vanny. So, flowers.
Yes,
So,
wedding flowers.
Tell us,
Yes.
what do you think about flowers?
So-
How important is it?
Where
Take it.
do I begin? So flowers, beautiful. Like any good florist knows what they're doing. But there's some florists that don't do weddings. Believe it or not,
That's terrible.
because when I work with a florist, well, even before the florist is booked, I always ask my clients, what do you want as your centerpieces? Just point blank.
Okay.
Some tell me they want like tall centerpieces, short centerpieces, candles, you name it. Fine. Candles too could be a good centerpiece, but that's another topic. But
Okay.
flowers, they want the tall ones, short ones, whatever. So then I contact my florist and I know that could do that, what they want, right?
Yeah.
That job. But in some cases, some couples already booked the florist because they're popular or they like a certain style they do. That's okay too. But let's say there's a couple that's like, hey, I want this florist, but I want, let's say, this florist, but that florist might not do weddings anymore because weddings for florists, and I could be wrong, it could be too demanding for them, and then it's not worth it because they might not be able to do that job or, whatever, right? And it could be very overwhelming too for, let's say, a new florist that's just starting out. So they might not take weddings right away.
Okay.
As it could be a lot, very demanding, and the client has expectations too, right? Like when
Yeah.
I book a florist, I know they're gonna do an amazing job, and I know they could do what my client wants. If
Okay.
I give them a picture, they could copy it and make it 100 times better.
Nice.
It's simple as that. And in Montreal and everywhere, there's amazing florists. but you have to find the right one for you that could do the job.
Okay.
And if you feel uncomfortable, let's say from the beginning with a florist, don't go with them. If you think, well, I talked to them, do a consultation. Let's say if you book the florist before the planner, which you shouldn't, but if that's the case,
Yeah.
you know, if you're like, yeah, I don't know about how I feel, I don't know if they could do it, or they don't carry a certain flower.
Yeah.
Because some florists don't carry certain flowers for whatever reason, because maybe maintenance, or maybe they don't have the right temperature to carry, like to keep that flower safe or in good shape, right?
Okay.
And there's the good florists that have been doing it for like forever, and there's the newer ones that are just as good too. So it really depends on what your budget is. Always comes down to budget and what can be done at budget.
Okay.
And good florists will always be honest with you, saying realistically, if you want this, you have to up your budget.
Ooh.
So, but then so ones will be like, yeah, I could do it, but they could cut corners, right? Or use a lot of filler flowers. And a very popular filler flower, and it's a little controversial, or baby's breath.
I heard, yes.
They're filler flowers, but it could be a centerpiece too. So it really depends on the style that you want and what your overall look is. Or filler flowers, well, not flowers, but the green leaves could be a lot of filler, like your basic eucalyptus, or, you know, I forget the name, but penny eucalyptus. Anyways, florist, you could correct me on that, but those are the fillers basically. So it really depends what you want, but when you're talking to any florist, ask them, can I see your work? And let's say if you're doing at a venue, saying, did you ever work at this venue before?
Oh, nice.
Because
okay.
they know how it could look in a certain lighting, or, you know, realistically what to avoid maybe, right, for that room, or to achieve a look, right?
Yeah.
And, you know, always give them the most information you can. So what color your tablecloth is, if it's not a white or black tablecloth, what are your charger plates going to look like, do you plan to have it all dim all night, the lights, or a bit brighter, like what's
Okay.
the vibe? Give them as much information as you can, so the florists, when they tell you what could be done, okay, this could be done, like realistically we could do like this type of flower. I don't recommend this. If you're having an outdoor reception, only certain flowers would be good outside. Not all of them can handle the heat. Like, for example, peonies, they could bloom in the heat. They could, you know, you don't want them to bloom necessarily at a quick rate, right?
Okay.
Or maybe some flowers might attract more insects, more bumblebees. You don't
Ooh,
want
that's
that.
true.
So it's always good to tell them if it's an indoor outdoor reception, or a bit of both. And a good florist could advise you, saying, hey, if you're having an outdoor ceremony, the arch, let's say when you have an arch, the arch with natural flowers, I recommend these flowers on that flower.
Okay.
You know, so it depends on your budget, and depends how good of a florist is to achieve that look. And I think that's what comes down to realistically. And if you want a big job in certain flowers, I recommend that you don't DIY it yourself.
Ah, yes,
Because
the DIY.
Because it could work, it can work, but if you don't know what you're doing, like I say, if it's your first time you're doing it, don't do it on your wedding day.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's it. Yeah.
Don't do it on your wedding
Don't be a
day.
hero. That's what we're saying.
Let the expert do it.
Don't
Yeah.
pick the chicoria, the flowers, dandelions in your yard and put
Yeah.
it as a centerpiece.
It's
It's not gonna work, guys.
Just don't
Yeah.
do it. So I think definitely a good florist will advise you. And even if you don't have a planner, if you get a planner later on, the planner and the florist could guide you.
Okay.
Let's say in my case, I know many amazing florists that I could recommend to my clients based on what they're looking for and what they want to achieve.
Yeah.
If I know if a client's looking for a very elegant centerpiece, I know some florists won't be able to achieve that look.
Oh, nice.
Realistically,
Okay,
I know
okay.
right off the bat that's not their style. And if they feel uncomfortable, they're gonna hesitate to do it.
Yeah.
And we don't want that on your wedding day.
No, you don't want hesitation.
No, you don't want the florist to
You're
hesitate.
getting a lot of leaves in your
a lot of filler flowers.
a lot of filler
A lot
flowers.
of baby's breath will be in there. They're beautiful, but they could turn brown easily if you're not careful.
Yeah, but that's over in abundance.
Yeah,
It looks very
it's overkill.
yeah,
it's
exactly.
too
like
much.
whiny.
It's too much baby's breath. What else I want to say on florists? Yes, some florists carry the candles too as well. So if you want candles and flowers, most florists carry different size candles and different shapes and different size candles and different types.
Okay.
So necessarily you don't have to rent them or buy them yourself, because the florist would include that all in one package.
But I remember they used to have a style. This is like a long time ago. I don't know
Yeah.
if it's still in. The flowers in the water.
Yep. I haven't seen any. for
There you
now.
go. Yeah.
Not yet.
Because this is like, woo,
But
I'm dating myself now. But
It's like, I know what you're talking about. I think I've seen it before. But hey, everyone has their style. But what's more in, I want to say now, are the tall centerpieces.
okay.
But it's not a pet peeve of mine, depends what you're looking for, but
Yeah.
sometimes that piece, if it's not done right, could block the other person on the table.
Yeah, I
So I
agree.
mean, it could work, and most of the time it looks amazing. But if you're doing a round table, I always recommend to my couples to have a smaller, like a not too tall centerpiece.
Okay.
Look at our centerpiece. Look at that.
Yeah, so you see,
Look at that.
perfect, exactly. But also depends on what like the vibe of your wedding, right? So it really depends on that.
If you're very rustic, you can go vines.
Yeah, you could get eucalyptus with a few candles, a few flowers, and there we go.
But in terms of color, like,
Yeah.
what do you recommend because you have the bridal party,
Yes.
then you have your hall. Some people do the church.
Yeah, some people have the church so I'd say, for example, like for bridal party, right? The bride always has the biggest bouquet.
Yes.
Unless if the bride says, I want a small bouquet, which is also
it's
making
okay.
a comeback too.
Really?
Like Sophia Richie, I saw had a small one. Meghan Markle, example, a small one. Everyone has, it depends what you want, right? Or you can have your bigger bouquet. And usually, let's say bridesmaids, maid of honor, they have a smaller version of that bouquet of the bride.
Yeah.
So that's how it's always been done. I say, don't change it, because then you don't want the bridesmaids to have a bigger bouquet than the bride, right?
Yeah,
or,
exactly.
Or different.
Yeah, it's gonna be a little
So-
lopsided.
So I always say the bride, but again, it depends what you want and depends what the florist can do, right? Let's say if you want a specific flower and they don't carry that or they won't get it on time, they could always recommend the florist saying, hey, instead of this, we could do that type of flower for you. And it could still work.
Well, I remember mine. It was a red velvet with Swarovski, and then my bridesmaids, they had my maid of honor. Wait, my bridesmaids had red,
Ooh, okay.
but it had white around
Oh, that's nice.
with the Swarovski, and it went down. It went down.
the
So
cascade,
they
that's
cascaded.
nice.
So and I had like a little. I had ribbons
Okay,
with gold because my color was champagne. And so it had the champagne ribbon.
Yeah.
So
So it,
Are you going to
again-
mention the fact that that was like 20 years ago?
But it's still, it matched your bouquet though. But now
I couldn't even tell you what I had. I couldn't even tell you.
that I believe.
And I got married twice. I couldn't tell you what I had in the first or the second.
But like back, it depends again, everyone's style and everything. But I find now nowadays brides want more modern bouquets. Like
I would agree.
the more modern, like the round bouquet, not necessarily cascading, but yet you never know, right? Depends the vibe that you want for your wedding and the theme and everything. So I definitely say like white flowers in general more popular for bridal party because it usually matches. But maybe you gotta say add a few, let's say colorful flowers depending on the dress color. So again, or more greener. It really depends on what you want. Remember the bouquet for the bride, you'll have it the longest, but for your bridal party, only be in the pictures and during the ceremony, and that's it.
Well, I like the bridal one. You know the style. I don't know if you've seen it.
Okay.
They have the long flowers, and you have the not necessarily a sunflower, but they're longer bouquets.
Oh yeah, the longer stems.
Yeah.
It's a look.
It's really nice.
It matches certain styles, I
Yeah,
find,
yeah.
but more modern, I want to say, than old school. But
Exactly.
again, it all depends, and also too with the florist, it depends what bouquets they usually do, right? Because maybe a florist might not carry those flowers, or maybe they aren't familiar with that style.
Yeah.
So it really depends. So it's always good to like bring pictures too when you're meeting your florist, like to do pictures of what you want. And also the florist, it depends on the florist. If they do, most florists don't do in-store mock-ups. Most of the time it's like pictures that they done and that's it. I find the in-store mock-ups could be done, but it depends on the florist and what they do realistically.
So how do you know which florist to refer? Let's say you're
Okay, so I always go by what they do, what's their strong suit when it comes to weddings.
Okay.
So if I know a florist is more modern looks,
Yeah.
I'll recommend it to a couple that's doing a modern wedding.
Okay.
But let's say if the couple's a little more like not necessarily traditional, but like modern and a little less traditional, I know some florists that could maybe like to add more color.
Okay.
They like to add color, use different textures.
Yeah.
Then I'd recommend them to certain florists. So it really depends on the couple and their vibe and what they want.
Okay.
Like I wouldn't recommend the couple that's non-traditional to the elegant florist, let's say, or the more modern, because it depends if it'll work or not.
Okay.
It could work, but it really depends on. And when I go for florists for like the quotes and to talk to them, I always asked all my florists to see what could be done because they might surprise me. But at the end of the day, I know which one the couple most likely like to work with.
Okay.
Most of the time, I'm right. Not all the time. Sometimes it happens, but most of the time, I'm like, okay, this florist will work well with this couple. Because
Okay.
at the end of the day, the couple and the florist has to also talk too, right?
Yeah.
When I go meet them I do attend the meetings, but I let my clients talk to the florist.
okay.
I'm there to make sure we're on track, to make sure we go on the points that we're talking about, like
Yeah.
more importantly, but like talking, the discussion is the couple and the florist talking, not really me.
Okay, but you are there. You're a
Of
very
course,
important
yeah.
presence
I am a big
in this
yeah,
whole in
of
this
course,
process.
but I like I said, I like my couple to talk.
Yeah,
as well. It's very
absolutely.
important. So that's why I'm there to make sure we're on track, to make sure we're not missing anything, to make sure everything as discussed is planned. Like let's say
Good.
I bring up like, hey, don't forget the charger plates or the white charger plates.
Okay.
You know, we change that, or the silverware is gonna be silver, not gold anymore, or rose gold. You know,
Okay.
like little things like that I'm there for. But logistically, I talk to the florist again numerous times. Like set up time, I take care of that. Usually, what time to come in to set up, what time.
Nice. Okay.
But I mean, overall, the couple's there to make sure it's a good fit and to see the examples that they've done, to see maybe example bouquets or example centerpieces.
Now, in terms of the church as well, they
Yeah.
still.
So for church, a lot of couples that do get married at a church or religious place, they do like to decorate. I want to say the aisle.
Okay.
But I find more couples opt for just the aisle decor and the carpet, not necessarily the backdrop, because the backdrop is usually like the altar is usually decorated like nicely already. There's like stained glass or already there.
Okay.
So it depends where you get. And some couples don't want to decorate the church because the ceremony is going to be short.
Yeah. Okay.
So it depends, like ceremony, if you're getting married at the venue with an officiant, most couples like to decorate it because they reuse that decoration later on.
Okay, that's good.
But for a church wedding, they usually decorate the pews or the rows and they have the carpet, and that's what they usually do to keep it more like not in your face, if that, because they don't want to take away from the already decorated, you know, church or religious place.
So, what is the most important thing when it comes to florals and flowers and for your bridal party? What is the most important thing that I guess a couples should be looking at?
I say the most important, I guess, flowers are your centerpieces, because all your guests are going to be sitting there all night.
Yeah.
Right? They're going to be sitting there eating, you know, having dessert, whatever. I want to say the ceremony arc too, if you have one. It could be repurposed, so that for sure.
Yeah.
And I want to say the bride's bouquet is important too. The bridesmaids, yes, but remember after the ceremony, they'll keep it on their table and like that's it.
Yeah.
And some florists, I say, bring like a vase to put the flowers in for the girls, like but at your seat with water already for the bridesmaids, so the bouquet doesn't die.
Yeah.
So they could take it home after, which is fine. But I want to say the bride's bouquet is important, and the centerpieces and the arc. All flowers for cocktail hour, you don't really need that.
Okay.
Because the guests are not going to be looking at the flowers during cocktail hour.
They'll be eating.
Like they're going to be eating
starving.
the canapes and that's it.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, if you want to, you could do it and repurpose it inside the venue too later on. But I want to say, I want to say, near, let's say, if your seating chart, welcome sign, you could put flowers or twin candles because people will be noticing it, right?
Okay, yeah.
But it really depends on your venue too and the rules that they have. But most of the time, the couples put a little flowers and candles near the welcome sign and seating chart because people are walking right past it.
Okay.
And the boys too, the boutonnieres too.
Okay.
Some guys want to have the flowers, but some don't.
Okay.
It depends on the preference, and it also depends on etiquette too. It really depends. So if you have a pocket square, etiquette-wise, you don't have a boutonniere because too much happening.
Yeah.
But nowadays,
They do it.
It depends. But some grooms don't want flowers.
Really?
So I had a few grooms that told me we don't want flowers. We want just to look more classic.
Oh, nice.
You know,
Okay.
so let's say if the groom doesn't have a boutonniere, that means like the father of the bride or groom don't have one. Like you stay it's all the same.
Okay.
Across the board.
Oh, okay. That's good
So
to know.
if the dad has one, it looks weird if the dad but not the groom, right?
Yeah,
So it
yeah.
looks a little weird.
Lopsided.
But nowadays, it's with people what they want, right? So it's always good to communicate as saying we want boutonnieres for the boys, for the groom and the groomsmen. But let's say for the parents, like it depends, right?
Yeah.
And usually something very simple and very like elegant. It's not so much happening, you know? Because you don't want to take away from your face. You don't want a whole like thing on your lapel here, and it's like this whole thing, you know?
Nothing but flowers.
You don't want that, but nowadays anything goes, right? So it really depends on your preference when it comes to boutonniere into flowers.
Okay.
And usually, traditionally, the bride and groom match when it comes to flowers. So let's say she has peonies in her bouquet, like white peonies, he's gonna have like a white, let's say, rose or another white flower.
Oh, nice.
Usually they match.
Now, do you see any couples going for fake flowers?
Yes, that's a good point too.
Oh,
So
nice.
some
Okay.
couples, what they do, and I'm okay with this if it's done right.
Okay.
Some florists, not all, work with silk flowers.
Oh, nice.
Not all florists or rental companies work with silk flowers. So if you want, in my opinion, what I learned, silk flowers and what I was told by florists, that they look the most natural
Okay.
if done right. So some couples would opt for, let's say, the centerpieces being fake, because, you know, at that point it's less, and it depends too, it's not always less expensive, believe it or not. Depends how many flowers, how good quality the silk flowers are, how many you need, will depend on the price. Again, I could be wrong, but that's what I have learned over time.
Okay.
So some couples might opt for, let's say, a arc made out of fake flowers because it's only used for decorative purposes, right? So I say if you're not having a close-up of something, you could get it for fake. It's okay. But if you're doing a close-up of the table, real is sometimes better.
Okay.
But like I said, it really depends on your budget and if that company, let's say rental company or florist, works with silk flowers.
Okay.
Or artificial flowers. It really depends if they carry it.
Yeah.
Some do, some don't, but nowadays it depends. So yeah, and I do know certain vendors that work with silk flowers, some that don't.
Okay.
The styles change, colors change.
Okay.
So that company has to be up to date with the flower trends with fake flowers.
Okay,
So
makes sense.
that's important too. They have to be up with the trends and what's trending, and any florist has to be up with the trends, right?
Yeah.
Regardless, they have to know what's trending, what's popular. Because if they don't have something in stock that's popular, well,
Yeah, they're not gonna go to you.
it won't be any good, right? So fake flowers, I do want to say it's more 50-50. It really depends on the venue, and let's say if you're having a whole outdoor ceremony, maybe fake flowers wouldn't be a bad option.
Yeah.
But again, it depends on, like, if you're having, let's say if you want to do the arc that's fake, that's fine. The aisle flowers could be fake, that's fine. But your tables, if anything, get real flowers.
Okay.
Because people will know, if it's a high traffic point, I say use real flowers.
Okay.
But if it's fake, like the arc that you're going to use at your ceremony and then use behind your sweetheart table, it's fine. No one's going to notice.
How about your bouquets?
Your bouquets, I always want to say real.
Yeah.
Because, again, it's just my preference, because you'll have all the pictures. And in close-up pictures, you could tell.
Really?
It depends. Some you could tell, yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah, so I mean, if you want to do fake, it's all fine. It could be done, but all your pictures, every picture you're gonna almost have are gonna be of you holding your bouquet. Your bouquet is gonna be more popular than you at one point.
Yeah, I know, it's
so
true.
that's why I'm saying if one thing is to splurge on is high traffic areas where we're gonna be taking most pictures, or where people are gonna be seated around, like your tables.
Yeah.
Again, you don't have to do anything crazy for your centerpieces, you know? So I always say real flowers, but
nice.
fake flowers could be done too if done properly.
Now, what is the price difference? I know everybody will say,
So,
well, that
yeah.
sounds great,
So
but...
price difference, to be honest, is really not that big of a difference.
Okay.
Because remember, with fake flowers, they still have to set it up prior, install it for you, and then come take it. And same with the florist, you have to come install the flowers, right, and then take it back with them.
Okay, so you can rent them as well.
Yeah, you could rent them too. Yeah,
nice.
They could be rented too, if not going with a florist.
Okay.
But it doesn't come down that too much of a difference.
Okay.
And it depends on the quality too that make a difference. In some cases, silk flowers could be more than real flowers.
Ooh,
It depends, but it could be.
How far in advance do you have to book your florist?
I'd want to say like 6 months before, but in some cases, you know, I had a couple that booked the florist a month before, but it was a smaller wedding, but it was still okay. But I want to say you could book your florist 6 months to even a year before. But I mean, you could, of course, the florist will have meetings, multiple meetings
Yeah,
in that
yeah.
time. So I mean, I know in my case, some clients booked their florist right after they got engaged because it was a popular florist,
Okay.
and then they booked me because
Yeah.
it was
You come with the florist.
exactly it's a package deal. But I mean, any florist would tell you the sooner the better, but there's many different circumstances, and things change, and you never know.
Yeah.
But at florists, you'll have meetings with them, you'll go talk to them, you'll have calls, so you can really finalize what you want and like adjust where needed, right? Because then they'll send you a quote saying, okay, this is the price, you could remove, you could add, but I want to say to finalize it a month before everything has to be final.
Yeah.
And here's another quick question.
Yeah.
What's a generalized budget to spend on a wedding for flowers? Like, is it, between
Okay,
this amount and that
I
amount?
think
Just to get an idea,
a
right?
good amount, I'd want to say between 2,000. It depends on how many tables. It depends on many factors, but I want to say between 2,000 and 4,000.
Okay.
But again, it could go up depending on the type of flowers, how much
course,
flowers
of
you want.
course,
But I'd say lower than 2 is okay too. That's rare. It could be done, but most people, I want to say between 2 and 4,000 is a fair amount.
That's
Wow.
what you're looking
Yeah,
at.
but it could be more. Again,
Of course.
it could.
The ones that'll spend more are the ones that are like flower crazy.
Yes,
right?
that want-
Flower
No,
child.
that's true. Like
I
someone who knows
believe the
flowers.
ones
Yeah.
that want more flowers,
Yeah.
I want to say, in my opinion, they want to hide something else in the venue.
Could be.
So
yeah.
if they want more flowers, you're trying to distract people from other things of the
Yeah.
venue.
The open
So-
bar.
No, but sometimes there's a flower connoisseur.
Yes,
that'll
yeah.
say,
and that
"I
too.
love,
Yeah, if you love
whatever."
flowers, then go crazy. I'm not gonna stop you.
yeah.
But again, most of the time, it's to either distract. Well, not to distract, but
Accentuate.
to
Yeah.
give more. But again, now like I was telling Lisa, nowadays anything goes, right?
Yeah.
Like there's again, I love good flowers, but they could get very expensive
Yeah,
too.
Yeah, of
Everything
course.
can get expensive.
Like it could
really.
add up. But I always say tables where your guests can be sitting, focus your details on there on the tables. Like that's where everyone's gonna be sitting all night.
Yeah.
And don't forget the vendor table too. We like a nice table too, okay?
I never get flowers on the.
Oh,
on the
no?
table. No.
You guys
Aw.
don't get flowers?
I always
Well,
try
why?
to.
Right? It's cost 30, 40, 50, 100
But
bucks
it's
per
so
table.
pretty.
But I always make sure when I do weddings that the vendors like at least have something nice.
Yeah, you want to feel
Because
part.
I like
Oh,
a
no.
nice table. Like I'm not just on the side. Like
Yeah.
I want.
We are. We're
But you're not a
working.
musician. See, musicians.
Oh,
So
you're
listen,
really.
Well, the thing is, we're not at the table much.
It's true. You're really not.
So,
it's
you know.
most of the time the planners. Sometimes we're there to eat the bread because at that point, we're there
Yeah,
for the bread.
true.
The photographers to charge the devices or to change memory card. The
Yeah.
DJ maybe pop in, but I still because remember if the photographer's taking a room's table, if they see a back tape like the vendor. That's sometimes they can't crop it out, right? So always try to make sure there's like a flower there to at least look in the distance, like
Yeah, exactly.
you know,
Picture,
like
yeah.
aesthetic, like because I know in some pictures you can't remove the vendor table,
Yeah.
or like, so it really depends. I always try to have something there,
Yeah.
but I want to say at least 2,000. But again, I've done weddings where it was a very small wedding and it was like under 1,000. But again, it depends what you want. Depends on so many things.
Well, they even have the arc at the house
Yeah.
too, eh?
That too.
Some people, I
'cause
know the Italians.
most
That's
of the
mainly
time.
fake, though, no?
Some are, some aren't. Most of the time they are fake, and then it's brought to the venue, let's say beyond the sweetheart table. So they pick it up and bring it. So it depends what you're really looking for. But I want to say at least 2,000. It could be done under and it could be more. So, and it depends also what the style is of that florist too, because some florists say I don't work with fake flowers. So in that case, you'd have to rent, let's say, the art from like your rental company.
Oh, that could
Yeah.
get costly.
Yeah, but most of the time the rental companies have some do, some don't. But more and more I feel like are having like, and there's some companies in Montreal that they only rent flower walls and flower arches, by the way. There's only some that specifically do that. Like only
Okay.
flower walls, only arches, that's all they do.
Wow.
So yeah, so that's
What kind of business can
so
you sustain with that?
believe it or not,
Believe it or not.
it's popular enough to have to have
I'm in the wrong business.
it's popular. So there's
Yeah.
some that specifically focus on that.
That's
So-
craziness.
Now, every wedding is super. It's hard to budget for
Yeah.
a wedding.
I mean, at the end of the day, you have to do what's right for you. Like I always
Exactly.
say.
So you have to take what's important to
Yeah.
you.
So if you say
know.
I care about, example, only the food, for example,
Yeah.
then you're gonna you're gonna focus all your budget on the food.
On the food.
Yeah.
And
Unless-
I don't care if I'll put like a guy playing music.
Yeah,
and,
exactly
and
that.
one little flower. So that's where he'll spend $800 on
Exactly,
flowers.
and that's okay too.
and
Or less,
40,000
yeah.
on food.
But there's nothing wrong
And
with
there's
that.
nothing
No.
wrong with that too.
You know,
if
it
you
is
say,
your wedding.
Yeah,
if
yeah.
you say I want good food, good music, good alcohol, well, we know where the budget is going.
Exactly.
And
And
that's
that's going into the bar.
and in some cases,
But
for
it's true. If
Yeah.
you put bottles of XO
Yeah.
there, it's gonna cost
Yeah,
you as
of
opposed
course.
to a bottle of whatever. Like,
exactly
But
that.
you
It's
budget
important
for
to you.
that. You
And I
plan
always
it.
ask my couples, what do you want at your wedding? Do you want to focus on the decor more, and the food and everything else, like
Mediocre. Yeah.
And then some couples tell me, well, we want it all, and I'm like, it
I
could-
love those couples.
and we love those couples, but I always tell them like, you want it all, so we have to divide that budget in smaller pieces.
yeah.
And I've done it before. It worked out just fine, but I have to remind my couple, saying, remember, we want to get everything.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, there's always going to be a compromise. And I always try to help my couples find a way to get it all, so to speak. But all could be defined by anything.
Of course.
All usually means they want good food, the alcohol, good music, and they want nice decorations.
They want everything
Yeah.
to be
Aesthetic.
perfect,
Yeah, perfect.
in the sense.
And at the end of the day, I've done it, and it is doable. But you have to remember, all means different for someone. So let's say someone's
Sure.
like, I really want these charger plates and these flowers for your table. Okay, that's all you want. We could do it.
Yeah.
It's doable. So it depends what you want by all.
Do you want to put a lounge? A lot of
Yeah.
times that's a thing. They
Yeah.
want to have a lounge in the
Like,
hall.
It's nice.
Yeah.
That's a nice idea.
It's
expensive,
nice.
though.
It
It is
you
nice,
have to
but-
rent a chair, like the not the chairs, but
couches.
the couches.
Do you know how much it costs to rent
I can
couches,
imagine.
carpet, and
Yeah,
whatever?
it
You're
adds-
talking about $2,000-3,000.
It adds up, and most venues, like you have to have that usually outside the event, like where the reception is.
No,
If-
you can have a lot of weddings will break up
Yeah.
the hall
I've seen that
and
before.
have
Like
a
they have a
corner of
little,
a lounge.
like a little corner,
and
but
it's nice, but
and some
Yeah.
venues have already the couches already, so it's
Yeah.
like they already
Yeah.
have, so you just take it from other rooms, so like
Yeah.
it's fine, But it depends. I mean, it depends what you're looking for. But yeah, lounges are a thing now, so you wanna, it really depends on.
sometimes the cocktail is a lounge area.
Yeah. Yeah,
so they'll do
exactly.
that. But again, to get that, to make it into that vibe, it's pricey.
Yeah,
Everything's pricey.
everything
So-
it adds up. I mean, unless if the venue you're already booked already has couches, already has the tables, then it's your advantage.
You're lucky.
Yeah.
But some don't, some do. It depends. Oh, I don't like that couch. I want a pink couch, or I want this couch. I want a black velour, velvet. Okay, well,
That's the
Oh,
argument.
now we're
you
going.
know.
Yeah.
Now we're going.
The Italian argument is you go to the hall, you book it, and they say, yeah, we have these candelabras. And then you get in the car, and the wife goes,
I don't like
or the
those-
wife to be says, I don't want those candelabras.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean? It comes with the hall. We're paying, we're getting it.
No, and they're not.
Yeah,
fantastical.
but then yes, exactly. But the guy is saying, but it's free. They're
Yeah.
candelabras. You put a fucking flower in the middle. We're good to go. And she's saying, no. And then he looks at the price and says,
I'm gonna kill her.
oh, you want to get these centerpieces for every table? He's like, okay, that just cost us $3,000. How about these candelabras again? Like, they're silver. They're perfect.
my thing with candelabras, if done right, they're beautiful. But you just can't put just one candelabra. It's gonna look like something that's like missing.
Missing.
You need at least flowers around, even fake flowers at that point. Like it's
Yeah.
fine,
I know, I'm just saying that
To
it.
decorate.
I'm just saying that it comes with it. and
If it comes with it,
It's normally
it's used
base.
most of the
base,
time.
which who the
It
fuck is
could
gonna
it
remember?
could work if done properly. It can work, but I always
But
say
who actually remembers? Literally, like, who goes back? The next day you're
Yeah.
gonna talk about it. Maybe weeks after, maybe the next year you'll go to a wedding and say, "Oh my God, look at these! That person had
Yeah.
that and this." Yeah. After that,
No.
who the hell's gonna? I don't remember what I had.
No.
And it was
Everyone-
my wedding.
I wouldn't
I
even do
think-
candelabras.
What did you have? What
I
did you
don't
have at your
think
wedding?
I would do.
I had flowers. I had flowers.
What if
But
they
they
were-
weren't high. They were just sort of eye level,
Eye
I would
level,
say.
that's the right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to do
That's
it eye
right.
level. I think everyone's and people remember
Everybody's different, though.
exactly. Everyone's different. You remember what you want to remember your wedding, but most of the time, people will remember like how it looked and what they ate and
Yeah.
was it good music.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was the food.
Like
yeah,
how
yeah.
was the vibe? Like and people remember. I find small details.
Yeah.
So let's say if you're like, oh, we have a coffee station. People remember the coffee station
Yeah, we had
example.
one too.
Or oh, how about I know I saw online it's like this cannoli guy that comes that makes cannolis on the dance floor.
Yeah.
Like people do that. So I find now it's more about the experience the guests will have.
Yeah.
I find that's a thing now. So
Yeah.
flowers. Let's say you have flowers that are beautiful, which flowers are always
They
beautiful.
are.
I literally had
You
a
know.
wedding, and I'll never forget it. It was years ago, but at the Madison
Okay.
Yeah. Beautiful hall.
Yeah.
But the cocktail, they had tons of tables for the cocktail. But in
Okay.
the middle of the hall, they had I want to say, like a Christmas tree, but
Okay.
that went to the ceiling.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay,
It went
so
to the
a
ceiling.
tall-
So picture how big it is, and this whole circular. It was like like a cone shape.
Yeah.
Had lobsters from the top to the bottom.
Wow, that must have cost a
Where
fortune.
You would go and they had guys with sticks picking the lobster that you wanted to have on.
That's insane.
So they were
That's
hanging there
expensive.
cold, and
Yeah.
you can, if you reached it, you can pick it. If not, you can ask the waiter; he would pick
Yeah.
one for you.
Oh,
That's
wow.
higher up, and there must have been 300 lobsters
Oh, I believe you.
on that thing because it was like 400 or 500 people at this one.
Ooh.
Imagine, right in the middle of the hall. That was the
That's
cocktail.
so
and then after the
cool.
cocktail hour, they removed that, and it was on the dance floor. That
Oh
was the
my
dance floor.
God. That's
How-
funky, though.
It's crazy, right?
But
Sometimes
people
you-
remember
Certain
all.
things, yeah.
They remember certain parts. So that's why I tell my couples don't. Some parts, yes, to do probably, but some parts people won't remember.
Now,
Yeah.
who remembers the opening dance? Because right now, we are going to do the segment Val's First
Yes.
Dance.
Yes. So for this week, the song is "Everything I Do" by Bryan Adams.
I
Do
love that
it
song.
for
Oh, that is
you.
so
it's a
great.
classic. It's classic as it gets.
It
I
is
think.
a
So
classic.
romantic. Oh my God.
No, it's true.
I think it was before my time.
that was
Yeah.
from the movie.
It was before my time.
That was
It
from
could
the
be, but
movie.
Robin Hood,
Yeah,
Prince of Thieves.
that was part of a movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes.
Prince of Thieves.
with Kevin Costner and Morgan Freeman. And
Good to
Maria
know.
Mastran, whatever her
do
name
not
is.
remember
Doesn't
the
really
name.
matter.
Yeah, it was before my time.
It is a good
And
tune.
Christian Slater, just
it's,
saying.
It's a great tune.
It's a
good tune.
classic.
Yeah, it is
It's
a
like I
classic.
think I only heard it at a wedding. I think once that song.
So I
Once.
remember when it came out, and it was every week, basically,
Really?
that song. Every
Imagine.
single week. When it came out and it was on the radio, holy shit, it just
So
came.
it was popular.
Yeah, it was.
I think I
was-
was in,
Very much.
I
So
think it's
it
like
came
90s.
from the
Yeah, it is.
yeah.
1990 is Robin Hood
Okay,
Prince of
there we
Thieves.
go.
There you
Before
go.
I
Oh
was
my
born.
God.
Problem
That was
solved.
the theme song.
Yeah.
A great song.
Yeah, it was. I love
Well,
that.
there's-
Fight for you, I lie for you.
I love it. Fuck yeah.
Fight for
It's a
you.
classic, and I think many people don't choose classic songs
Yeah.
anymore. I feel like people choose what's in now, which is fine.
Yeah.
But when you rewatch your video or clips, or you'll be like, oh yeah, it's that time.
True.
You know, so
Yeah.
that's why when I tell couples pick your song, do something that you'll always remember, not just it was popular that year, because
Yeah, yeah,
everyone
exactly.
is gonna have that song that year, right? Like last year it was like a lot of Love Story by Taylor Swift. The year before, so it was overkill.
Yeah.
It was
After a while.
It was overkill. No offense, Taylor
Yeah.
Swift, but it was a lot.
Yeah, I got
Imagine
it.
going
know-
to all of the weddings and it's like
So
Taylor Swift,
you
Taylor
hear-
Swift, Taylor
and there
Swift.
is another song last year. It was like Trompeta, like
La trompeta.
Yeah,
when they
or
come
some-
into the
yeah.
hall. Yeah.
one more time, and I hear that one more
gotta
time.
shoot the DJ.
I'm gonna hide somewhere. Just don't, So there's that, but on a yes, that was a lot too last year. I find a lot of
Absolutely,
that.
yeah.
Bryan
And
Adams.
probably this year too. It wouldn't surprise me, anyways. Everyone picks what they want to
What
pick.
about when it was,
what-
what's his name? The guy singer the piano. All of me love.
Oh, John
yeah,
Legend.
John Legend.
Yeah.
That's
John-
a popular song too.
Oh my
still.
God, I think I heard it every wedding.
Yeah,
for
It's
like
It's
2
not my
years
favorite.
It's a
straight.
good. I get
Beautiful
the
song.
song, but I find it could be overdone. 'cause
It is
It is
overdone. I
overdone.
just
It is.
lost
a lot,
interest.
A
yeah.
lot.
The radio played it 5,000 times.
That's what killed it. I'm sorry, but
and,
you
and
can't.
every couple picked it.
Yeah,
Every
and
couple.
couples still pick it, which is fine. But
Yeah.
it's been
Overdone.
You're gonna hear it a lot this year, I'm sure too, which is a beautiful song.
Yeah.
But I think when it comes to first dance, I like everything I do or the other when we talked like. I want something that stands out for me because I'm gonna be there listening to it. So I want something.
Are you keeping your song for your wedding a secret?
Yes.
I love
Ah!
it. We're gonna talk about it after the wedding.
Yes,
process.
after the wedding.
Absolutely.
Yes. But yeah, first dance songs are very important. So pick wisely because there'll be a planner in there. That'll be like, why?
Do you have?
I'm too sexy.
do you
Right said
have
Fred.
your- That's when I walk in. Do you have your thought of the week? Val?
Yes,
Look into that camera. Look
That
into
one.
camera 3 and give it to us.
So the thought of the week is be yourself and make decisions on what is important to you.
Very well
There we
said.
go. Mic drop.
Lisa, your not rebuttal. But
There's no
your-
rebuttal to that. It's basically very well said.
Yeah. I agree.
You know, there's a lot of people who are going to be telling you, you know, their ideas and influence you and sway you. But in the end, you have to take that moment and say, hey, you know, this is what I want.
What's best for you
This
as a
is-
couple and what you want to remember, right?
Exactly, because you represent you.
Exactly.
Right? You know what you want. You know. It's
You
somebody
have-
else should not be
you
telling
have
you.
a vision already.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
when you get engaged or proposed to, you already have like a thought, like
Yeah.
starting, you're like, oh, I see like this. So stay true to that little
Exactly.
Because if you go overboard, you're not really staying true to yourself. Of course, listen to the advice your parents give you or family gives you. They only mean well. But at the end of the day, you have to think back, what do you really want?
Well, it's unique to
Yeah.
you,
Oh,
right?
it's unique,
your
yeah.
day. So it's not as if, well, you know, I had blue orchids at my wedding. You know, that's a good idea. I think
Yeah.
that's different. No, it has to speak to you.
It has to make sense,
Yeah,
right? You
exactly.
just can't do what people tell you to do, saying, well, it's your wedding with your partner. You want to make sure that it's what you imagine, right?
It's what you guys
Yeah,
decide. In the end,
it's a final
you guys. It's at the
decision.
beginning of.
You're forever.
You're planning together, right?
Exactly.
So it's like the connection is there, and you want to take it all the way. You don't just want to stop at it and say, well, no, my mother has an idea, you know. She wants the shrimp, you know.
She wants a shrimp cocktail.
Yeah, that's it, you know.
And yeah,
My thought,
of the
I was trained
To drink.
to say that one day I was told, please don't be you that one day. Please don't. Just try and act civilized and get through the day and then after be you. Please. that
civilized.
was
Civilized.
my thought. Yes. Well, hey.
You were told to.
You know, we had IKEA lanterns. You know the round globe paper
Yes,
We had them
yeah.
all over the room when I got married.
That's so cute.
But unfortunately, I was so drunk that one of them was on my head for the last hour of the party.
Okay.
And I have pictures
It could happen.
of me with my buddies, and I have an IKEA lantern on my head because I used it as a hat. So, anyways,
It's whatever works.
Whatever floats your
hence,
boat.
they said, please don't be you that one day.
A warning.
Well, you know, you have to be you.
You have to be you.
because it wouldn't
was.
it wouldn't be
I was
good. Yeah. Well, then there you go. There you go.
I was me.
Uh,
That's for
but
sure.
good.
Hey,
Like
man.
I said, it's important definitely to stay true to yourself when planning your wedding with
Of
your
course, of
significant other.
And hire a wedding
Planner. Yes.
to help you be you.
Not just any wedding planner. You have to
No.
hire Val
Yeah,
because
Val
she.
definitely does an amazing job.
Yeah, you know what? It's like you really have your stuff together.
And not only do I make sure it goes well, but I make sure you stay sane on your wedding day too.
Oh, that's
That's top priority. Like
And if you
you're
saw-
okay.
I'm stressed by nature.
And if you watched last episode, she has an emergency kit.
Yes.
Like the amount of time that she took just to prepare this kit
Yes.
and get it ready
It's definitely a process.
it
Yeah.
tells you something. It does that absolutely does tell you something.
It's planned out, and every year, like you'll see on the episode.
updated. Fuck it's
Oh yeah,
updated.
it's updated of stuff that
You're gonna have a mobile home, man.
It's
It'll be
updated.
like, welcome to Val's shop. Come
But
in
you know
and
what's cool is working with people that are chill. I think this is to me this is the most. You know, there's people that panic, people that I don't want to work with those type of people.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I want to work with someone who's chill and who's going to do the best because they just want the best for you and they're chill. And this is a weird story, but when I got married, it was in February, but there was the
for
wild.
your wedding, okay.
I got a winter wedding because I'm a
Interesting.
musician,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it makes sense.
and
yeah.
so half my wedding
I like
wouldn't have
that.
been there if it was in the summer,
Right.
Because everyone's busy. So
Yeah.
I wanted my friends there. I felt too
I like
guilty
that though. Yeah.
booking a
February's
summer wedding,
nice.
and they would all miss work because I felt too.
Okay.
No, for me it was August. It was
So,
pretty good.
yeah.
Not very hot. Yeah.
So I remember we hired a photographer and she was amazing. But because of the snowstorm, there was a major snowstorm.
Oh yes.
And we had caterers coming in, and we were at the Olympic Stadium. The
Ooh,
caterers,
okay.
the caterers ended up being late. Like
Yeah.
the caterer, they were like the food was there, but the waiters
Okay,
showed
so
up late.
Okay.
And they had to set up the room.
Yeah.
And they were super late, stuck in traffic.
Well,
they were in one
if
car. They
it's-
were
yeah.
stuck in traffic, and they ended up being late. The photographer, and I'll never forget her. She was the sweetest thing. She literally put the camera down, put it in a room, and she was one of the waiters for like an hour and a half, setting
That's
up
amazing.
tables,
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
chairs, because she saw that we were like stressed. Oh my
Yeah.
God, people are gonna start showing up. Not everything's ready.
Right.
She was doing table settings.
That's
Oh,
amazing.
We didn't have
that's
an event
good.
planner
She's
back
good.
then. But she just took out and she did all
That's
of this.
amazing. It's
and then,
rare, yeah.
you know, people showed up, everything was cool. And then she grabbed her camera and went back to
And
being
did
the
her thing,
photographer
yeah.
and did her thing. And it's like, cool, you know, like that's
Yeah.
so, you know, I was at a
That's-
wedding
yeah.
a couple of weeks ago where they had, I saw the bride stressing because there was a staircase in the, that had to be moved.
Okay.
And people were about to come in and she was panicking, and I said, listen, go take care of it.
Yeah.
Let me get the waiters, I'll do it with the waiters.
Yeah.
And I just felt so bad
And I
for her.
think-
Yeah.
Let's
Is it-
go, and we
yeah.
moved the stuff together.
Yeah.
And then she was like, oh my God, thank you so
And
much.
it,
I was-
Yeah.
and
But
with
it's like-
your point being the vendors, you have like vendors that work well together will help each other out.
Yeah.
you need to
And
be
that's
chill.
Yeah, you
need-
have to be chill. Like
A wedding's important.
vendor to vendor, you have to help where you like. If you see
Yeah.
a vendor struggling, you do what
You
you
help.
can. You know.
But
Of course.
it's in the end, it's important. The
Yeah.
wedding is important, but it's not. I don't want to say it's not all that. It is all that, but it's like it has to be like chill and like not everything has to be. You know, the dry
Perfect.
ice.
Yeah, yeah.
If it's
Yeah.
at 7:30 or at 7:32, it's not the end of the
It's-
world. It's
there's worse
cool.
things
Yeah.
in life.
There's worse. You know, we
Yeah.
have to keep it in context and
Yeah.
say, hey. You know,
Things
like I could
happen,
have said
it's
no, but I gotta
okay.
play,
Yeah.
and the people when they come in, there has to be music and
Yeah,
panic.
but in the
Half the
end,
But
time
you just
when
work.
yeah.
I'll press play, and I'll
Yeah.
help you for
Yeah.
10 minutes.
Yeah.
You're gonna be happy. Everyone's gonna. The stress goes down.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
everyone, you know.
No,
and it's
I
important.
agree. And when vendors work together to help each other, it makes a
Yeah.
huge difference
Yeah.
because like we're all one team to make sure
Exactly.
that the wedding goes awesome and that whatever happens, like we got each other's back. You know?
yeah, exactly.
Exactly. It's all about that, man. Being
It is.
chill. Do it. You know what you have to do, and you do it properly. And
It
you know,
makes
I
a
have a job to
difference.
do. I
Yeah.
gotta make people dance. And
That's
sometimes stuff happens. The photographer decides to take pictures right after they open the dance. So he takes the whole bridal party
Yeah.
outside.
it happened.
And
before,
I
yeah.
could freak out and say, "What the fuck are you doing, bro? Like, why are you taking pictures
Yeah,
now?
Yeah.
Now is the
sure.
time where they're supposed to be partying."
Yeah.
But you know what? I don't. I say, "Okay, this is the situation now.
Yeah.
They're outside.
Yeah.
I got to do something else to get whoever's
Yeah.
in here dancing. So
I
I'm gonna
agree.
work
No,
this
you
out
work it.
and wait, and I'll hold my good stuff for when the bride comes because she has special requests. You know,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, of
you just
course.
make it work. You find a way, and you make it work, and
Exactly
and that's
that.
it. You know the.
And you smell the flowers.
Yeah,
you
and you
smell the
smell
flowers
the
and,
centerpieces.
The centerpiece, and you just, and they all smell good, unless they're wheat plants.
Exactly.
Then everybody falls asleep. So on that note, another episode done.
Exactly.
I'm gonna go buy flowers. No, I'm kidding. No, that's terrible. Don't put me around flowers. Look, this one's all strambuliat. So
Wow, that's a word you pulled out there. That's a word.
that's a word. That's
And I was
definitely
like,
something.
what on earth is that word? I don't even know it. So
It's okay.
it's Italian, I think.
it's Italian.
It's Italian.
I,
If you don't know the word, it's better like that.
I heard the word before.
I've
See?
never heard it.
Surprisingly.
Well, I've heard you say it, but that's doesn't mean it's a real word.
So on that note, my God, I hope everybody is well informed on
Yes.
everything related to flowers.
Exactly.
And if you're not, you have to reach out to Val.
And I'll be
because-
there to help you.
Also, the guys put you know, in the comment section, feel free if there's a topic you want to discuss.
Yes, that'd be nice.
budgets,
Yeah.
whatever it may be.
Whatever
Val is
comes to
amazing.
mind, we'll be more than happy to talk about it.
Amazing.
Exactly.
Not beer and booze, like about
besides-
weddings.
No, that's Vanya's
That's my
podcast.
podcast, yeah.
So thank you so much, Timers, for chiming in.
Yes, thank you for chiming in. And we're on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Spotify, and Apple.
You
Podcasts.
got it!
We're everywhere.
Y'all get flowers. Everybody, all around. Not silk, though. Real.
FYI.
FYI. Maybe we'll get you small ones. Baby breath. Okay, guys, so we'll see you soon.
We'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.